Have you ever wondered what really happens in a country where winters hit like a Viking hammer, yet birds still show up dressed better than we do? Because here's the question I want you to hold on to until the very end. Why do some of the world's rarest, strangest, and most breathtaking birds choose Latvia of all places? And trust me, the answer isn't what you think. Welcome to Latvia, a small northern nation with lakes like mirrors, forests older than your family tree, and wetlands that look like they're hiding secrets. And soaring above all that, 25 species that don't just live here, they thrill here. We're talking eagles with 8-foot wingspans, owls glowing like lanterns in the snow, and tiny forest punks sporting mohawks in sub-zero weather. Some sing, some stalk, some just stare at you like you're the strange one. From frozen marshes to endless pine forests, every bird on this list has a story, a mystery, a twist, a moment that'll make you go, hold on, that's real? So grab a warm drink, settle in, and let's fly through one of the most unexpectedly wild bird kingdoms in Europe. And remember the question, why Latvia? By the time we hit species number 25, you'll know. Ever stood by a frozen lake and felt like something was watching you from way, way above? Because if you're in Latvia, it probably is. And it's probably the white-tailed eagle, the king of the Baltic sky, the bird that makes you instinctively straighten your posture like you're being judged by royalty. So here's the thought I want in your head right now. If this eagle is so massive, so powerful, so unbelievably majestic, why does it choose this icy corner of Europe as home? Picture a wingspan wider than your couch. This eagle glides over lakes like it's inspecting real estate. Calm, effortless, completely aware it can steal dinner from anyone below fish. Mine, duck, also mine. Your sense of self-importance, definitely mine. It doesn't chase, it commands. Sometimes it just sits on a dead tree, staring at the water like a retired general planning yet another victory. And here's the fun twist. For all that power, the white-tailed eagle is kind of dramatic. It screams across the landscape with this high, piercing call, not deep and mighty like a Hollywood eagle, no. It sounds more like someone stepped on a squeaky dog toy with confidence. But who's going to tell it that? Now let's talk comeback stories. A few decades ago, this species was nearly gone from Europe. Pesticides, habitat loss, the whole tragic script. But Latvia said, all right, big guy, we got you. Protected forests, clean wetlands, zero tolerance for nest disturbance, and the eagle came back. Big time. Today, Latvia holds one of the strongest populations in the entire Baltic region. Nature loves a good redemption arc. But here's the part that really sticks with people. This eagle mates for life. Same partner, same nest, same territory, year after year. While humans can't even commit to a gym membership. So now we've got a question that sparks a little debate. Is the white-tailed eagle a symbol of wild resilience? Or the ultimate example of look intimidating, live dramatic? Think about it the next time you see a giant shadow drifting over a frozen lake. Is it surveying the land or judging your winter jacket choice? Either way, it's watching and it knows you noticed. Have you ever met someone who looks quiet but gives off that don't mess with me energy? That's the greater spotted eagle, the shadow of the Baltic wetlands. At first glance, it's just a dark, brooding silhouette drifting over Latvia's marshes. But stay a little longer, and you start wondering, why does a bird built for stealth choose to live in a place this open, this exposed? Hold that question. You're going to want it later. Unlike the flashy white-tailed eagle, this one doesn't brag. It glides low, hugging the landscape, almost disappearing into the reeds. It hunts like a whisper. Frogs, mice, small birds. Gone before they even realize the sky opened up. This eagle doesn't scream dominance, it whispers danger. Here's a fun fact. Greater spotted eagles have this habit of sitting completely still on a lone pine tree for hours. No movement, no sound, just watching. Almost like it's judging your life choices from half a mile away. You ever get stared down by an eagle? It's unsettling. Now for the twist. This bird has a bit of an identity crisis. It hybridizes with the lesser spotted eagle all the time. Scientists call it genetic mixing. I call it family gatherings got complicated. Half the time, even experts can't tell who's who without DNA tests. Imagine being so mysterious that you confuse biology itself. And here's where things get interesting. Greater spotted eagles are extremely sensitive to human disturbance. Move too close to their nests and they'll abandon it instantly. No second chances. Latvia's quiet, untouched wetlands are one of the few places left in Europe where they can raise their young without stress. So now the big question hits. Is the eagle choosing Latvia, or is Latvia choosing the eagle by simply staying wild enough? You can feel the tension in every frame. The silence, the still water, that dark figure cutting through morning fog. It's not loud, not flashy, not dramatic. And somehow that makes it even more powerful. So tell me, is this bird the master of subtlety, or just the introvert cousin of Europe's eagle family who wants everyone to leave it alone? Because either way, when that shadow passes over the wetlands, everything listens. You ever meet the younger sibling who isn't as big, isn't as loud, but somehow steals the spotlight anyway? Welcome to the lesser spotted eagle, Latvia's quiet overachiever of the forest. And here's the question I want you to keep in the back of your mind. If this eagle is lesser, why does it dominate the deep Baltic woods like it owns the deed? At first glance, it looks modest. Brown plumage, steady wings, nothing too dramatic. But don't let the humble outfit fool you. This eagle is a specialist. It hunts smart, not hard. Frogs, voles, snakes. Smooth, efficient strikes, no big theatrics. Just results. And here's something fun. Lesser spotted eagles migrate thousands of miles to Africa every winter. But the wild part? They take the scenic route. The Balkan flyway, Turkey, Middle East, down to southern Africa. A whole intercontinental road trip powered by thermal air currents. Meanwhile, some of us complain about a 2-hour flight delay. Now here's the twist. This bird is kind of picky about its neighborhood. It wants old forests for nesting, but open meadows nearby to hunt. Basically, it's saying, I want a cabin in the woods, but also a backyard big enough for outdoor grilling. Latvia, with its patchwork of forests and grasslands, hits that sweet spot perfectly. But there's a deeper story here. For decades, this eagle struggled across Europe. Habitat loss, farming pressure, fewer old trees. Yet Latvia became one of its last strongholds. Protected nests, forest corridors, minimal disturbance. It's almost like the country quietly whispered, stay as long as you like. And the eagle said, deal. And if you really want a debate starter, these eagles sometimes form trios. Yep, trios. 2 males, 1 female, all raising a chick together. Cooperative parenting at its finest, or just a weird bird love triangle? I'll let you decide. So the question remains, is the lesser spotted eagle really lesser, or is it just underrated because it doesn't flex its muscles for the camera? Next time you walk under Latvia's huge forest canopy and hear a soft, high whistle overhead, ask yourself, is that the sound of modest genius at work? Have you ever seen something so elegant, so perfectly composed, that you instantly think, yeah, I don't belong in the same room as that? That's the Black Stork, Latvia's mysterious forest phantom. And here's the question to keep floating in your mind. Why would a bird this regal choose to hide from the world instead of showing off? Most people know the white stork. Friendly, social, lands on rooftops, practically waves at tourists. The black stork, total opposite. This one is a loner. It slips through deep forests like a shadow with wings. You don't see it, you sense it. A ripple over a dark river, a silhouette in dawn fog, just enough to make you doubt your own eyes. And the beauty, oh man, velvety black body with a metallic green shimmer. Long red legs, dagger-like beak. It looks like it stepped right off a luxury fashion runway. But try getting a photo. Good luck. This bird hates paparazzi. Here's a fun twist. Black storks don't like noise, crowds, or even other black storks. During nesting season, they want one thing: distance, quiet, untouched forest. No traffic, no hikers, no drama. Basically, they want the Airbnb no one else knows about. Latvia is one of the few places in Europe that still has exactly that. Huge blocks of ancient forest, silent marshes, rivers with no disturbances for kilometers. To a Black Stork, that's like finding the last perfect cabin in a world full of loud neighbors. And this is where things get interesting. While their white cousins build nests on chimneys like they're asking for attention, Black Storks hide their giant stick nests deep in old trees, so hidden that researchers sometimes spend years trying to find the same nest again. Imagine a bird so sneaky it loses professional scientists. But here's your debate hook. Is the Black Stork shy or just smart enough to avoid all the chaos humans create? Because let's be honest, if you had the choice between a crowded city rooftop or a peaceful forest river, which would you pick? So next time you're wandering through Latvia's ancient woods and feel like something graceful just slipped between the trees, maybe you didn't imagine it. Ever heard a sound so deep, so echoing, that it felt like the sky itself was calling you? That's the common crane, the voice of Northern Europe. And here's the question I want sitting in your head. Why does a bird this loud, this dramatic, this impossible to ignore choose Latvia as one of its favorite stages? Picture a tall gray bird standing in a misty field at sunrise. Long legs, long neck, red crown glowing like an ember. Elegant, calm, and then out of nowhere, that call, a rolling trumpet-like blast that cuts across the countryside like a prehistoric announcement. If dinosaurs left voicemail, it would sound like this bird. But cranes aren't just loud, they're dancers. And not just cute little hops. We're talking full choreography. Bows, leaps, wing flaps, spins. It's like watching two giant ballerinas doing interpretive dance on a frosty meadow. They do it for bonding, for courtship, for fun. Can you imagine waking up one morning and deciding, you know what, I'm gonna dance to strengthen my marriage? Cranes do it every spring. Now here's the twist most people miss. Latvia is a migration hotspot. Every autumn, thousands of cranes gather in huge flocks, filling the sky with swirling gray waves. It's one of Europe's greatest natural spectacles, and half the world doesn't even know it's happening. Cranes come from Russia, Scandinavia, the Baltics, forming one giant airborne traffic jam heading towards Spain and North Africa. And the craziest part? They mate for life. Same partner, same dances, same migration route every year. While humans are like, should I switch my phone plan? Cranes are like, nope, this is my person, this is my path. But cranes also have a quieter, gentler side. You'll find them tiptoeing through Latvia's wetlands, picking through plants and insects with delicate precision, a huge bird acting like a polite dinner guest. So here's your debate moment. Are cranes majestic giants or dramatic sky opera performers who just want an audience? Next time you hear that echoing call over a Latvian marsh, you might wonder if it's speaking to the landscape or if it's trying to get your attention. Have you ever seen something so out of place, so unbelievably rare, that you stop and wonder, what on earth is that doing here? That's the Siberian crane, Latvia's ghost from the Far East. And here's the question to keep spinning in your head. Why would a bird that belongs to Arctic tundra in Asian wetlands suddenly appear in the Baltics? Imagine this. You're walking near a Latvian marsh on a chilly morning, fog settling, the reeds barely moving. And then through the mist, a tall, snow-white bird steps forward. White feathers glowing against the gray air. Black wingtips sharp as ink strokes. A red mask around its face like ancient war paint. You'd swear you're looking at a mythical creature, something that shouldn't exist outside frozen Siberian legends. Here's the fun twist. Siberian cranes almost never show up in Europe. Their normal route takes them from Russia straight down to China or Iran. So when one shows up in Latvia, it's news, it's drama. It's the equivalent of a celebrity accidentally walking into the wrong airport and pretending they meant to be there. These cranes are built for cold, empty landscapes, silent tundras, endless marshlands. But Latvia, with its shallow wetlands and quiet migration corridors, can act like an unexpected rest stop on a very long journey. A biological, oops, missed the exit moment. And here's where things get even more interesting. Siberian cranes are one of the most endangered birds on the planet. We're talking critically endangered. Every individual matters. So when one lands in Latvia, it's not just a sighting, it's a heartbeat, a reminder that this species is still fighting for survival. They're also incredibly graceful. You'd expect a huge white crane to be clumsy. Nope. They move like slow-motion ballet dancers, every step soft, every motion deliberate. It's like watching dignity glide through ankle-deep water. Now your debate hook. Is a Siberian crane in Latvia a sign of resilience or a sign that the world's migration patterns are shifting in ways we don't fully understand? Because when a bird from the other side of the continent shows up uninvited, nature might be whispering something. So if you ever see that white silhouette cutting through Baltic fog, don't blink. You might be looking at one of the rarest travelers on Earth. Ever met someone who looks like they stuck their head in a wind turbine and decided, yeah, that's my hairstyle now? Say hello to the red-breasted merganser, Latvia's punk rock fish hunter. And here's the question I want circling in your head. How does a bird that looks this unhinged manage to be one of the most efficient predators in northern waters? Picture a sleek, long-bodied duck cutting across a Baltic lake like a feathered torpedo. Thin, serrated beak, built like nature's own fish-grabber chest, stained a rusty red. Head sporting a wild, spiky crest that screams, "I don't do subtle." Every movement says speed, chaos, confidence, and trust me. The speed is real. This bird can dive underwater, twist through weeds, and chase fish with moves that'd make a submarine blush. It hits 80 kilometers per hour in level flight, faster than most highway traffic signs want you to go. And underwater, it turns into a guided missile. Now here's the twist that'll make you smile. The merganser's serrated bill isn't just for grabbing fish. It's basically a biological sushi tool. Once it bites, nothing slips out. Fish, eels, crustaceans, all fair game. Evolution handed this bird chopsticks with teeth. But for all its high-speed drama, the red-breasted merganser has a softer side. You'll often see them floating peacefully in groups, the water around them totally calm, like a biker gang pretending to meditate. Then suddenly, splash, dive, chaos, dinner time. Latvia is a prime stopover and breeding area for them. Cold lakes, icy bays, quiet rivers, perfect hunting grounds. And you might wonder, why would a speed demon choose these freezing waters? Because cold water holds more oxygen, which means more fish. And more fish means more opportunities for a merganser to show off. They're also hilariously skittish. You take one step too close and the entire group explodes into flight. Wings slapping the surface, water spraying everywhere. It looks dramatic, but they're not scared. They're just extra. So here's your mini debate. Is the red-breasted merganser a brilliant underwater hunter, or just a chaotic bird with great hair and bad impulse control? Either way, when you see that punk crest slicing across a Latvian lake, you know the show just started. Ever walked through a dark forest and felt deep down that something big was watching you? Not a ghost, not a monster, but something with eyes bright enough to light up half the woods. That's the Eurasian eagle owl. And here's the question I want ringing in your head. How does a bird this massive, this powerful, this ridiculously intimidating manage to move with total silence? Imagine a creature almost 2 feet tall, perched on a snowy branch like it owns the entire Baltic night. Feathers thick, ears tufted, and those orange eyes, glowing like heated metal. You look at it, and you suddenly remember every bad decision you've made. It has that effect. The eagle owl is one of the largest owls on Earth, wings so broad they create their own shadow. Talons that could win a wrestling match against your forearm. But the sound it makes while flying, nothing. Not a whisper, not a flutter. Just invisibility. Here's the fun twist. Its feathers are engineered like acoustic technology. Fringe edges break airflow, soft fluff dampens vibrations, and the wing shape diffuses sound. Nature designed it like a stealth bomber long before humans figured out aerodynamics. So yeah, if you feel something sweep past your head in the dark and you didn't hear it, congratulations. And the hunting. Forget dramatic dives. The eagle owl plays psychological warfare. It sits, waits, stares, then strikes with a speed totally unfair for its size. Rabbits, rodents, fox cubs, even other birds of prey, all on the menu. If it can grab it, it can eat it. Latvia's forests and cliffs are perfect territory. Old trees, rocky slopes, wide hunting grounds. Eagle owls want space, a kingdom, and Latvia hands it to them on a silver platter. But here's something surprisingly sweet. Despite looking like a villain's pet, they're devoted partners, pairs mate for life, call to each other across valleys, raise their chicks like a feathered power couple. It's romance, with claws. Now your debate moment, is the Eurasian eagle owl a misunderstood guardian of the night, or a silent, territorial heavyweight who enjoys scaring hikers? Because when those orange eyes lock onto you from a snowy branch, you'll have opinions. Ever seen something absolutely tiny that somehow scares creatures 3 times its size? That's the Eurasian pygmy owl, Latvia's pocket-sized troublemaker of the snowy forest. And here's the question to keep buzzing in your mind. How does a bird this small manage to rule a landscape filled with giants? Picture it 6 inches tall, weight of a golf ball, looks like it should be adorable, harmless, maybe even asking you for a cracker. But don't let the size fool you. This owl wakes up every morning and chooses violence. While bigger owls snooze through daylight, the pygmy owl hunts under bright sun. Broad daylight, fearless. It dives on mice, voles, small birds, even ones half its body weight. Imagine picking a fight with someone twice your size and winning consistently. That's this owl's personality. And here's the twist that always makes people blink. Pygmy owls have a habit of storing prey. They'll catch a mouse, fly it up into a tree cavity, and stash it like a tiny forest landlord collecting rent. Sometimes they stockpile so much food, scientists open a cavity and find a full medieval pantry of frozen victims. Cute on the outside, chaos in the pantry. But my favorite detail, the eyes. Not the big bright ones in front, though those are adorable and mildly judgmental. No, I mean the fake eyes on the back of its head. 2 dark spots that look like a second face. Predators think it's staring at them, even when it's not. That's genius-level intimidation. Latvia's deep spruce forests are prime territory for these little beasts. Plenty of hollow trees, plenty of rodents, plenty of perches to sit and look disproportionately confident. People walking the woods rarely see one. They're tiny, camouflaged, and silent when they want to be. But sometimes you'll hear their soft, repeated whistle. Peep, peep, peep. A sound that says, yep, I run this forest. So here's your mini debate. Is the Eurasian pygmy owl a brave little warrior, or just a tiny dictator with main character energy? Because when something the size of your hand stares you down like you owe it money, you start reconsidering the definition of small. Have you ever tried finding something that absolutely does not want to be found? That's the hazel grouse, Latvia's professional hide-and-seek champion of the forest. And here's the question I need you to hold on to. How does a bird this shy, this quiet, this perfectly camouflaged manage to become one of the most iconic voices of the northern woods? Let's set the scene. You're walking through a dense Latvian forest. Snow dusts the ground. The air is still, and suddenly you hear it. A soft, trembling whistle that seems to drift from everywhere and nowhere. That's the hazel grouse. You heard it, but you will almost never see it. This bird blends into the forest floor like it signed a contract with the camouflage industry. Brown mottled feathers, tiny crest, plump little body that tucks perfectly into shrubs. If it stands still for more than 2 seconds, it becomes part of the scenery. It's basically the forest version of, you can't see me if I don't move. Here's the fun twist. Despite being painfully shy, hazel grouse are surprisingly dramatic when startled. No slow takeoff, no graceful lift. More like, oh no, explosion of wings. I'm out. The sound could wake up an entire forest, including any hikers who thought they were alone. Their lives revolve around secrecy. Short flights, silent steps, feeding quietly on birch buds, berries, shoots. They're the introverts of the bird world, happiest when they're doing their own thing far away from everyone. Latvia is a stronghold for them. Endless spruce and mixed forests, thick undergrowth, old growth patches where they can vanish completely. Places where human presence fades and bird stories take over. But here's the twist most people don't expect. That eerie, trembling whistle. It's a love song, a courtship invitation wrapped in pure mystery. Males call softly from hidden perches, hoping a female is close enough to hear, but far enough that predators won't love, but with anxiety. So here's the debate hook for you. Is the hazel grouse a master of stealth, or just a very shy forest resident trying to avoid awkward social situations? Because honestly, given the choice between talking to strangers or hiding in a bush, some of us might pick the same strategy. Ever wanted to watch a wildlife boxing match mixed with interpretive dance, performed at sunrise on a snowy field? That's the black grouse, Latvia's feathered showman of the tundra meadows. And here's the question I want sitting right in your mind. Why does a bird that looks so calm all year suddenly turn into an Olympic performer every spring? Picture the scene. Pre-dawn light, frost sparkling on the grass. The world is quiet except for one sound. A bubbling, gurgling call that sounds like a cartoon pot about to explode. Then out of the half-darkness, you see them. Black grouse males, puffed up like feathery muscle balls, tails fanned into a perfect lyre shape. White underwings flashing like warning signs. And this is where the madness starts. They strut, they leap, they charge, they run sideways like they're glitching in a video game. All this to impress the females calmly watching from the sidelines like bored judges at a talent show. Here's the fun twist. The dance floor known as a lek is the same spot every year. Same patch of meadow, same time, same drama. If you mapped it on a calendar, it would be more reliable than some train schedules. Now, this bird isn't just about theatrics. It's built for cold life. Thick plumage, low silent flight over snow, and an ability to vanish into birch scrub like a disappearing magic trick. Most of the year, black grouse are quiet, almost invisible. But when spring hits, it becomes Broadway. Latvia still has the perfect ingredients for this spectacle. Wide, marshy fields, quiet clearings, forest edges where birds can display without human interference. These lekking grounds are so important that conservationists guard them like treasure maps. But here's the extra twist most people don't realize. Only a handful of males actually get the girls. The rest, they dance their hearts out for nothing. Hours of leaping, bubbling, hissing, zero results. It's nature's most brutal audition. So your debate hook. Are black grouse fearless romantic warriors? Or just guys trying way too hard on nature's version of a dating show? Because when you see a bunch of birds charging each other at sunrise like feathery sumo wrestlers, you start questioning everybody's life choices. Ever met someone who's loud, dramatic, always snooping around the neighborhood, yet somehow also the smartest person in the room? Congratulations, you've just described the Eurasian jay. And here's the question I want you to chew on. Is this bird a chaotic troublemaker or the secret genius of Latvia's forests? Let's set the scene. You're walking through a quiet woodland, minding your own business, when suddenly you hear it, a sharp, raspy scream that sounds like someone stepped on a rusty accordion. That's the jay announcing your presence to the entire forest. It's basically the neighborhood gossip bird. Nothing escapes its notice. But beneath the drama lies one of Europe's most intelligent birds. This jay doesn't just live in the forest, it manages it. Fall arrives, acorns drop, and the jay goes to work, collecting, burying, caching thousands of them across the landscape. And here's where your brain will short circuit. It remembers almost every hiding place. Months later, under snow, in forests spanning kilometers. And the fun twist? The acorns it forgets eventually grow into oak trees, meaning a big part of Latvia's oak forests. The jay accidentally planted them. Imagine reforesting a country by losing your snacks. But its talents don't stop there. Eurasian jays are master mimics. They can imitate hawks, crows, cats, even human whistles. Sometimes they fake a hawk scream just to scare other birds off a food patch, then casually swoop in like, wow, I wonder who scared everyone away. Their appearance matches the personality. Creamy pink coat, bold black mustache stripe, and those electric blue wings that look hand-painted. Flashy? Yes. Deserved? Also yes. Latvia's forests are basically a jay paradise. Oak trees for acorns, pines for nesting, wide hunting territories full of insects, nuts, and the occasional stolen snack. They thrive in places with complexity because their brains demand it. So here's your mini debate. Is the Eurasian jay a noisy trickster who loves stirring up drama, or the forest's accidental eco-engineer with a side hobby in pranks? Because when you hear that scratchy screech from the treetops, there's a good chance it's yelling at you, and a better chance it's laughing afterward. You ever meet that friend who hoards snacks, knows exactly where every single one is hidden, and gets strangely offended if you call them a hoarder? That's the Eurasian nutcracker, Latvia's pine forest mastermind. And here's the question I want buzzing in your head. Is this bird storing food for survival or running a secret underground nut economy? Picture a medium-sized bird, dark chocolate feathers speckled with white dots, like someone flicked paint across its body. Strong beak, confident posture, eyes that say, touch my stash and I will end you. This bird may not look flashy, but it is all business. The nutcracker's entire year revolves around one mission: collecting pine seeds, especially from Swiss stone pines and Siberian pines. It flies back and forth for hours, grabbing seeds, caching them in tiny holes, cracks, under moss, between roots. And the craziest part? It does this tens of thousands of times. Not hundreds, thousands. Here's the wild twist. It remembers where it put them, not by luck, not by scent, but by pure, detailed spatial memory. Studies show nutcrackers can recall thousands of cache locations months later, even under deep winter snow. Meanwhile, we forget where we parked our car at the grocery store. But let's raise the stakes. Sometimes nutcrackers hide more seeds than they can actually eat. What happens to the leftovers? They grow. Entire pine forests in northern Europe, including parts of Latvia, exist largely because these birds misplaced their future meals. So yes, this bird plants trees by accident. That's a level of eco-heroism none of us asked for, but desperately needed. And the behavior doesn't stop there. Nutcrackers are bold. They'll swoop right into human campsites to investigate food bags. They'll fight off squirrels, scold hikers, and argue with jays like they're auditioning for a forest sitcom. Latvia, with its big stretches of conifer forest, is prime territory. Quiet, cold, and full of seeds just waiting to be claimed. The nutcracker thrives anywhere that demands cleverness. So here's your debate hook. Is the Eurasian nutcracker a brilliant food-obsessed strategist shaping the forest, or a snack hoarder with an accidental landscaping hobby? Because every time you see a Latvian pine stretching into the sky, there's a decent chance a nutcracker planted it without ever meaning to. Ever seen a bird so tiny, so innocent looking, yet rocking a hairstyle that screams, "Yeah, I'm the boss here"? That's the crested tit, Latvia's pint-sized woodland punk. And here's the question I want simmering in your mind. How does a bird this small, this cute, this feathery, manage to command the deepest pine forest like it owns every branch? Picture this little fluff ball hopping along a snowy branch. Gray body, black bib, bright eyes, and then the crest. a spiky, perfectly sculpted mohawk pointing straight to the sky. It looks like it spent 20 minutes styling its hair before leaving the nest. But don't let the size fool you. Crested tits are tough. They're year-round residents, staying through Latvia's brutal winters when other birds bail for warmer beaches, -20. Snowstorms? This bird shrugs and keeps going. Like, yeah, I've survived worse. Here's the fun twist. They're not shy, not even a little. While some forest birds vanish at the slightest sound, the crested tit hops right up to branches near eye level, tilts its head, and gives you a look that says, "You lost? Need help finding the trail?" Their day is a non-stop scavenger hunt. Bark crevices, pine cones, dead wood. If there's a hiding place, they're checking it. Spiders, seeds, insects, all fair game. Sometimes they even stash food for later, tucking seeds into cracks with the confidence of a creature convinced it has a perfect memory. Spoiler, they remember just enough. Latvia's conifer forests are paradise for them. Tall pines, spruces, mossy trunks, and quiet winters where their high-pitched calls echo like little bells. You'll hear that soft zzz before you ever spot the mohawk. And here's the twist that always gets people smiling. They're surprisingly social. During winter, they join mixed flocks with chickadees, nuthatches, even woodpeckers. And guess who tends to take the lead? Yep, the tiny punk with the crest. So here's your debate hook. Is the crested tit a fearless woodland rebel with main character energy, or just a tiny extrovert who refuses to blend in? Because when that little mohawk pops out from behind a snowy pine, you can't help but think, yeah, this forest belongs to you. Ever met that one neighbor who's everywhere, knows everyone, chats with anyone, and somehow always seems to be in a good mood? That's the great tit, Latvia's cheerful garden ambassador. And here's the question I want you to keep in mind. How does a bird this common, this tiny, end up being one of the smartest and most adaptable creatures in the entire forest? Let's paint the picture. Yellow belly like a little sunbeam, bold black stripe down the chest, white cheeks, glossy head. It looks clean, sharp, confident, the bird version of someone who irons their t-shirts. But behind that tidy appearance is a mind that never stops working. Great tits are problem solvers, not find a seed smart. I mean, actual puzzle-solving smart scientists have tested them in labs, offering tricky setups with strings, boxes, sliding lids, and these birds figure them out like they're auditioning for a nature-themed escape room. They learn from experience. They learn from watching others, and sometimes they invent new tricks on the spot. Here's the fun twist. Their vocal range is insane. Over 40 different calls, alarms, warnings, greetings, food signals. They practically have their own language. Some calls are so specific they tell other birds exactly what kind of predator is coming. Imagine yelling, "Cat on the left," or "Hawk overhead" in your daily conversation. Great tits do it without breaking a sweat. Latvia is incredibly important for them. Forests, parks, orchards, city edges. Anywhere there's a tree, a branch, or a bird feeder, the great tit will show up like, "Hey, what's for lunch?" They're not picky. They eat insects, seeds, berries, fat, leftovers. Whatever the season demands, flexibility is their superpower. And if you want a charming detail, these birds nest in the quirkiest places. Tree holes, nest boxes, fence posts, lamp fixtures, old boots left outside. If there's a cavity, they'll use it. Resourcefulness at its finest. So your debate hook, is the great tit simply a common backyard bird, or a small, feathered genius hiding behind a cheerful voice in a sunny outfit? Because once you hear that sharp, bright teacher call echoing through a Latvian morning, you realize this isn't just another bird, it's the forest's little problem solver. Ever heard a sound so strange, so repetitive, so oddly mechanical, that you looked around thinking someone dropped a rusty farm tool in the grass? That's the corn crake, Europe's most mysterious voice with Europe's least visible body. And here's the question I want pulsing in your mind. How does a bird this loud stay this invisible? Picture a wide Latvian meadow at dusk. Grass knee-high, wind barely moving, everything soft and gold. Then suddenly, crek, 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 crek. Loud, sharp, echoing like two wooden blocks slamming together. You take a step closer, and the bird vanishes. Just evaporates into the grass. The corn crake is basically a feathered ninja. Brown streaked body, slim frame, legs built for running, not flying. Running, and running very well. Most birds escape danger by taking off. The corn crake sprints into the grass like it's late for an appointment. Some say it can disappear between two blinks. Not scientifically proven, but believable. Here's the fun twist. It's incredibly common, but nobody sees it. People go their whole lives thinking it's a rare bird, when really it's just a master of, nope, you don't see me. Even researchers admit it's easier to record their voices than actually spot one. Latvia is one of the last strongholds for this species. Traditional hay meadows, low-intensity farmland, quiet marsh edges, exactly the kind of habitats that still let the corn crake live its secret life. This bird needs tall grass like we need Wi-Fi. Without it, game over. And now for the twist that gets everyone. Corn crakes are long-distance migrants. These tiny grass-loving runners travel all the way from Latvia to Central Africa every year. Thousands of kilometers, across deserts, mountain storms, all while being terrible flyers. It's like watching someone with a fear of airplanes book a non-stop 10-hour flight. You root for them, and also question their life choices. So here's your debate hook. Is the corn crake a mysterious meadow ghost, or the world's most stubborn marathon runner who refuses to be seen? Because the next time you hear that sharp crek crek echoing across a Latvian field, you'll realize the bird is probably 3 feet away, laughing quietly, thinking, yeah, you'll never find me. Ever seen a bird that looks like it walked out of a fashion magazine, then immediately started clowning around like a circus performer? That's the northern lapwing, the drama kid of Latvia's fields. And here's the question I want swirling in your mind. How can something this beautiful also be this wonderfully chaotic? Let's start with the look. Shimmering green and purple wings that flash like oil on water. Sharp black and white patterns. And of course, the crest. That ridiculous, fabulous swooping crest like it spends more time styling its hair than hunting for food. Every lapwing looks like it's showing up to prom, but then you see it fly, and everything gets wild. Lapwings don't glide gracefully. They zigzag, they tilt, they drop, they rise again. Their flight pattern looks like someone handed a bird the wrong instruction manual, but it works. It's mesmerizing. Aerial jazz. Here's the twist. This bird is fiercely protective. It nests right on open ground. Zero cover, zero privacy. So when a fox or crow wanders too close, the lapwing goes full action movie, dive bombs from above, warning cries, fake injury performances so dramatic they could win an Oscar, all to lure predators away from their eggs. And the crazy part, it works. Predators fall for it every time. Lapwings invented the decoy strategy long before human actors learned to fake a limp. Latvia's open fields and wet meadows are perfect for them. Wide visibility, soft ground, and lots of insects. In spring, hundreds gather and take off in shimmering flocks. It's one of the great wetland spectacles, waves of metallic green wings flashing over the horizon. But here's another twist you probably didn't expect. Lapwings are sensitive weather indicators. Old Baltic farmers used to say, when lapwings dance in the sky, rain is on the way. Turns out, they weren't wrong. These birds react to pressure changes before storms, feathered meteorologists. So your debate hook, is the northern lapwing a fearless hero defending its family, or a brilliantly dressed drama lover who enjoys putting on a show? Because when that black crest bobs above a Latvian field, you instantly know something exciting is about to happen. Ever seen something sparkle so brightly against a cold, gray landscape that it almost feels impossible? That's the European golden plover, Latvia's little piece of sunlight walking on snow. And here's the question I want you to hang on to. How does a bird this delicate-looking survive, thrive, and shine in some of the harshest northern habitats? Picture a wide tundra meadow during early spring, thaw snow melting, brown earth waking up, a few green shoots daring to peek through. And right in the middle of it, a bird speckled in gold. Truly gold spots that shimmer when the light hits just right. It's like someone took a winter field and sprinkled nature's glitter across it. But don't let the elegance fool you. Golden plovers are tough, built for cold winds, icy ground, and long migrations that make your back hurt just thinking about them. They breed in northern Europe in winter far to the south. A full seasonal commute, no plane tickets, no snacks provided. Here's the twist that always surprises people. These birds are incredibly loyal to locations. Golden plovers return to the same meadow, often the same few square meters, every single year. Imagine flying thousands of kilometers just to say, yep, same spot, looks good. And then there's their voice, a soft, haunting whistle that drifts across open landscapes like wind singing through metal. You hear it long before you see them. A call that feels ancient, like something left over from the Ice Age. Latvia is a key stopover point for migrants and even holds breeding populations in open northern habitats. Bogs, heaths, wet meadows. Here the golden plover blends into the earth until the sun touches those feathers and suddenly it looks supernatural. Behavior-wise, they're wonderfully indecisive. When startled, they freeze, completely still, trusting their camouflage. But if you get too close, they explode into flight with a burst of gold and brown wings that leaves you blinking at empty air. So here's your debate hook. Is the European golden plover a fragile jewel surviving against the odds? Or a cold weather warrior wrapped in glitter to confuse us? Because when you see that golden flash against melting snow, you start to realize nature has a flair for drama too. Ever seen a bird that looks like it's constantly in a hurry, but you're not sure why? That's the common sandpiper, Latvia's shoreline sprinter. And here's the question I want dancing through your mind. How does a bird this jittery, this restless, manage to survive a lifestyle that looks like pure anxiety on legs? Picture a small, brown and white bird pattering along a riverbank, wagging its tail nonstop, running a few steps, stopping, running again, like someone pressed fast forward on its life and forgot to turn it off. If birds had Fitbits, this one would break the step counter by noon. The sandpiper has a signature move you'll recognize instantly, nervous teeter mode. Its whole body bobs up and down while it walks, as if it's saying, "Yup, I'm stressed. Thanks for noticing." Scientists still argue about why they do it. Communication, balance, showing confidence. Maybe it's just a bird with personality. But here's the twist. For all its nervous energy, this bird is an elite traveler. It migrates thousands of kilometers from northern Europe to Africa, crossing oceans and continents on wings barely as wide as your hand. This jittery river edge sprinter becomes a long-distance athlete the moment migration season hits. Their hunting technique looks simple, but it's genius. They run along the water's edge, grabbing tiny insects, worms, and crustaceans the moment they appear. Speed and timing. That's the whole strategy. No sitting, no waiting, just hustle. Latvia's rivers, lake shores, and marsh edges are perfect for them. Mud, shallow water, pebbled beaches. Anywhere a bug can hide, a sandpiper will find it by sheer kinetic determination. And here's the fun part. They fly low over the water, wings stiff, making a sharp, repetitive twee-wee-wee call as if giving live commentary on their own flight. Some birds sing, sandpipers narrate. When threatened, they don't explode upward like many shorebirds. They skim the surface of the water, their reflections flickering underneath them, like a second ghost bird racing along. So here's your debate hook. Is the common sandpiper a nervous little overthinker, or a high-efficiency, zero-waste, always-moving survival machine? Because once you see that tiny bird hustling along a Latvian shoreline, tail wagging like it's late for a meeting, you'll wonder if maybe, just maybe, it knows something we don't. Ever met a bird that looks polite, elegant, almost refined, until it opens its mouth and unleashes pure chaos? That's the black-headed gull, Latvia's loudest troublemaker of the wetlands. And here's the question I want circling in your head. How does a bird this noisy manage to be so universally loved? Let's start with the name, black-headed gull. But here's the kicker. Its head isn't actually black, it's chocolate brown during breeding season, and white with a dark spot the rest of the year. So yes, this bird is named after a color it only wears part-time, nature's version of false advertising. Picture it standing on a riverbank, chest puffed, red legs bright, looking like it's absolutely convinced it runs the place. Give it 5 seconds, and it'll yell at another bird for no reason at all, then steal a sandwich crumb, then yell again. It's a whole lifestyle, but beneath the antics lies a smart, adaptable survivor. Black-headed gulls are opportunists. Fish, insects, garbage, bread crusts, whatever. If it's edible, they'll take it. Sometimes politely, often not. Here's the twist. They're spectacular flyers, acrobatic, agile, capable of hovering over waves, making tight twists mid-air to snatch insects or scraps. If seagulls had a dance competition, this one would win the Best Aerial Freestyle category. Latvia's wetlands, lakes, and coastal zones are perfect for them. In spring, they gather in huge, noisy colonies. Hundreds of birds screaming, flapping, arguing, like a feathered marketplace where everyone's talking at once. It's chaotic, messy, and absolutely mesmerizing. And don't let the noise fool you. They're excellent parents. Both adults defend the nest aggressively. Too aggressively sometimes. Walk too close, and they will dive bomb your head with the confidence of a bird who thinks it weighs 50 pounds instead of barely one. But here's the real debate starter. Are black-headed gulls loud because they're dramatic, or dramatic because they're loud? Is this a cause or effect thing, or just their personal brand? Because when a flock lifts off over a Latvian marsh in a flash of white wings and red legs, calling wildly into the wind, it's hard not to smile, even if you have no idea what they're yelling about. Ever seen a bird so brightly colored that it makes you question whether your eyes are glitching? That's the European roller, Latvia's flying gemstone. And here's the question I want you to keep spinning in your head. How does a bird dressed like tropical royalty end up thriving in the cool Baltic summer? Imagine a burst of turquoise slicing across the sky wings, glowing electric blue, chest warm, cinnamon brown, tail dipped in emerald. Every time this bird takes off, it looks like someone tossed a handful of neon paint into the air. You don't just see a roller, you gasp. But here's where things get fun. Despite looking like it belongs on a tropical postcard, this bird is a full-on acrobat. Rollers don't just fly, they tumble, twist, drop, roll, literally roll through the air. Their courtship display is half air show, half look what I can do. If birds held stunt competitions, this one would be the headliner. And the twist, they're shockingly fierce. European rollers love big, crunchy insects. Beetles, crickets, grasshoppers. They swoop down from perches with the precision of a guided missile. Sometimes they even take small frogs or lizards. All with that graceful, serene face like, yep, I definitely meant to do that. Latvia sits near the northern edge of their range, and every summer these birds return from Africa to raise their chicks in warm fields, old orchards, and scattered woodlands. They prefer open spaces with tall perches, telephone poles, fence posts, lone trees, anywhere they can scout like colorful sentinels of the countryside. And here's a detail that surprises almost everyone. Young rollers vomit on predators. Yes, you heard that right. When threatened, chicks produce a foul-smelling orange goo. To warn the parents something is wrong, it's disgusting. It's brilliant. It's nature's version of a security alarm. So now your debate hook. Is the European roller a dazzling sky dancer or a tough, bug-smashing bruiser hiding behind shimmering feathers? Because when that turquoise flash streaks over a Latvian meadow, you realize beauty and power aren't opposites. Sometimes they travel on the same pair of wings. Ever seen a bird so brightly colored that it makes you question whether your eyes are glitching? That's the European roller, Latvia's flying gemstone. And here's the question I want you to keep spinning in your head. How does a bird dressed like tropical royalty end up thriving in the cool Baltic summer? Imagine a burst of turquoise slicing across the sky wings, glowing electric blue, chest warm, cinnamon brown, tail dipped in emerald. Every time this bird takes off, it looks like someone tossed a handful of neon paint into the air. You don't just see a roller, you gasp. But here's where things get fun. Despite looking like it belongs on a tropical postcard, this bird is a full-on acrobat. Rollers don't just fly, they tumble, twist, drop, roll, literally roll through the air. Their courtship display is half air show, half look what I can do. If birds held stunt competitions, this one would be the headliner. And the twist, they're shockingly fierce. European rollers love big, crunchy insects. Beetles, crickets, grasshoppers. They swoop down from perches with the precision of a guided missile. Sometimes they even take small frogs or lizards. All with that graceful, serene face like, yep, I definitely meant to do that. Latvia sits near the northern edge of their range, and every summer these birds return from Africa to raise their chicks in warm fields, old orchards, and scattered woodlands. They prefer open spaces with tall perches, telephone poles, fence posts, lone trees, anywhere they can scout like colorful sentinels of the countryside. And here's a detail that surprises almost everyone. Young rollers vomit on predators. Yes, you heard that right. When threatened, chicks produce a foul-smelling orange goo. To warn the parents something is wrong, it's disgusting. It's brilliant. It's nature's version of a security alarm. So now your debate hook. Is the European roller a dazzling sky dancer or a tough, bug-smashing bruiser hiding behind shimmering feathers? Because when that turquoise flash streaks over a Latvian meadow, you realize beauty and power aren't opposites. Sometimes they travel on the same pair of wings. Ever met someone who seems all cute and innocent, but deep down, you know, there's something a little off? That's the red-backed shrike, Latvia's tiny terror with a big appetite. And here's the question I want you to keep in your head. How does a bird that looks like it belongs in a children's book become one of nature's most brutally efficient predators? Picture this, a small bird, barely bigger than your hand, with a rusty red back, black mask, and a beak that looks like it was made for serious business. At first glance, it looks like something you'd casually admire in the garden, but look closer. It's standing next to a bush full of dead insects and rodents, all impaled on thorns. Yup, this cute little thing is the forest's personal butcher. If you thought your kitchen was messy, wait until you see its pantry. Here's the fun twist. The red-backed shrike isn't just eating on a whim, it stores its kills on thorns, barbed wire, fences, you name it. It's like a bird that took the phrase, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket," way too seriously. Imagine getting stuck in traffic, and instead of pulling into a rest stop, you just drive all the way home, and then come back for snacks later. That's this bird, and here's where the plot thickens. The shrike doesn't have the powerful talons of hawks or the killing speed of falcons. Instead, it uses its beak like a tool, pinning prey to barbed wire, sticks, and even sharp rocks. It's a survivalist, not a gladiator. It's a scavenger who knows how to prep. Latvia's wide meadows, farms, and hedgerows are the perfect place for the red-backed shrike. Lots of space, open fields, and plenty of stick targets for impaling. It thrives in places with sharp contrast between woodland and open ground. And here's the twist that always cracks people up. The male red-backed shrike is kind of a romantic. He builds a larder to impress the female. He gathers food, arranges it on spikes, and then, like some odd dating ritual, shows it off. It's like saying, "Look at all the dinner I can prepare. Baby, let's eat." So here's your debate hook. Is the red-backed shrike a cold-blooded hunter or a practical romantic who just happens to love impaling things? Because when you see that little bird perched on a fence, surrounded by its gifts, you realize it's not just any cute songbird, it's the trickster of the meadow. Ever seen a bird so sleek, so perfectly put together, that you wonder if it's just too good for the world? That's the Eurasian bullfinch, Latvia's little gentleman of the winter woods. And here's the question I want you to chew on. How does a bird that looks like it should be hosting a tea party end up being the silent architect of chaos? Imagine a small, round bird with a rosy pink chest, black cap, and stubby little beak, looking like it stepped out of an oil painting. It perches calmly in the snowy branches of Latvia's winter trees, head held high, looking the part of a forest aristocrat. But don't let the polite looks fool you. This bird has a wild streak. While you might picture this delicate creature as a bird of peace, the bullfinch has a taste for destruction. It's not after berries or insects. Nope, it has an insatiable hunger for flower buds, especially apple, cherry, and plum buds. In fact, it's the neighborhood thief you never see coming, sneaking into your backyard orchard and eating your future fruit, one bud at a time. It's like nature's version of a garden vandal. But here's the twist. The bullfinch doesn't just eat whatever it pleases. It's deliberate. The tiny beak is perfectly designed for plucking buds with the precision of a gourmet chef. While other birds are out there fighting over crumbs, the bullfinch is casually dining on the best the forest has to offer. Latvia's cold, winter woodlands are perfect for these birds. They're designed to blend in, quiet, careful, and totally undisturbed by the rush of the outside world. When you hear that soft, whistling song echoing through the trees, it's like hearing a personal serenade delivered with a side of calculated sabotage. And here's a twist that'll make you smile. These birds mate for life. No flirting, no big displays, just two bullfinches quietly sharing a tree, eating and raising young together. They're the introverts of the bird world. No drama, just pure, understated loyalty. So here's the debate hook for you. Is the Eurasian bullfinch a silent, elegant beauty who hides its destructive habits well? Or is it simply a tiny, overachieving garden terrorist with a perfect sense of style? Because next time you see that pink chest shining in the cold, you might just wonder if it's about to raid your fruit tree again. Have you ever seen something so perfectly suited for the harshest of winters that it almost seems like it was made for the snow? That's the snow bunting, Latvia's winter masterpiece. And here's the question I want swirling in your mind. How does a bird so delicate, so beautifully pure, manage to thrive in the coldest, most unforgiving landscapes? Picture this, a small, round bird, its body dusted with soft white feathers, chest glowing with pale brown tones, and black markings on the wings that look like a brushstroke of ink. It's the embodiment of winter, as though nature took a snowflake, gave it wings, and let it soar across Latvia's frozen fields. In winter, when the world is white and silent, the snow bunting glides through the cold like it was born for this moment, but don't be fooled by its gentle appearance. This bird is built for the most extreme conditions. During the harshest Latvian winters, the snow bunting doesn't migrate to warmth like other birds. Nope, it digs in its tiny feet and stays, moving from frozen field to frozen field in search of seeds, surviving off the land even when it seems like there's nothing left. And here's the twist. This bird thrives in community. Unlike many lone, solitary species, snow buntings gather in flocks, working together to find food, finding warmth in numbers, and making a loud, cheerful chorus that contrasts the cold silence of winter. Their calls, sharp and sweet, echo across frozen fields like little beacons of life in an otherwise still landscape. They've got a trick too. When snow starts to fall heavily, they burrow into the ground to seek shelter, waiting for the storm to pass. It's as if they've discovered how to press pause on winter, waiting out the worst until the weather's safe enough to continue. But here's something that'll make you think. The snow bunting's beauty isn't just in its soft, snow-white feathers. It's in its quiet resilience. While many birds flee from the cold, the snow bunting sings a song that says, "I belong here." It's not a showy survivor. It's just a small, determined little warrior in the world's quietest, most dangerous season. So here's the debate hook for you. Is the snow bunting the true symbol of winter's delicate beauty, or a little warrior that found a way to own the cold? Because when that white flash moves across a snow-covered Latvian field, it's a reminder that no matter how tough the winter gets, there's always a little light and a little song, even in the hardest of times. And with that, we wrap up our flight through Latvia's wild skies and winter landscapes, where beauty, resilience, and nature's surprises are just waiting to be discovered. So, what have we learned after soaring through the skies and fields of Latvia? From the regal white-tailed eagle to the tiny, daring snow bunting, this is a land where the birds don't just survive, they thrive, they dance, they sing, and they've found a way to make even the harshest winters feel like home. Latvia is more than just a country. It's a sanctuary for the wild, where ancient forests meet frozen lakes, and every bird has its own unique story. Stories of resilience, beauty, and the quiet power of nature. As we close the chapter on these incredible 25 species, ask yourself, which bird stayed with you the most? Was it the stealthy Eurasian eagle owl, the flamboyant northern lapwing, or the unforgettable black stork? Each one plays its part in this wild, untamed symphony. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which bird surprised you? And if you ever find yourself in the snowy meadows or quiet forests of Latvia, take a moment, look up, because you might just see one of these feathered wonders soaring overhead, reminding us that even in the coldest winters, life never stops singing. Thank you for joining this wild journey through Latvia's skies. Until next time, keep your eyes open. There's always a new bird waiting to surprise you.